Hey guys, my name is Danny. I am a new YouTuber and this is my first video. I'm so excited to finally make my first video, and if you asked me a year prior, I don't think this would have ever crossed my mind and I would have thought it was impossible, considering this was an idea that only recently became a recent development like 4, maybe a few more months ago. It really just started with me watching lots of YouTubers making art, especially art YouTubers, and then feeling inspired and wanting to make and share my work as well. Also, I apologize for this video being over an hour. I didn't realize I wasn't supposed to basically record the whole process, which actually took me days, but whatever. I'm also just learning to edit on my computer and record on my phone, so I'm still learning the file exporting and other stuff. I do plan to try learning to get faster at drawing to hopefully make the videos shorter over time, but yeah, still learning. I am also sniffling often since I have been having a runny nose every day for almost a year now. It usually goes away for a month or two and then comes back all over again. It's done that for the last 2, almost 3 years. Maybe it's also just me not having nose hair because of the chemo. Oh well. Sorry guys. As I draw this over several certain days, the lighting also changes as well, and is not something I can currently control as I do not have good lighting, unless I use my room's light, but even then sometimes you can see my tripod's shadow that way. As I edit this, I am posting this a month later than expected because I recently had my appendix burst about 2 weeks ago and was also dealing with finals, but now I am done and I am still in recovery. Today we will be making art for one of my artist pen pals. We have been writing to each other for 1 month. This makes it the second. Well, probably now the 4th or 5th. But based on this video, as I'm editing it, this makes it the second month that I had recorded, and then, life got in the way. And I wasn't able to upload it till more recently. Oh, if you don't know what penpaling is, it's when you basically send mail to each other and write back and forth, I guess. Except what I'm doing is that for artist pen pals, we basically send each other art and artist trading cards, crafts, drawings, and other stuff through the mail. I think it's a win-win because it gives you something to draw, helps artists block, or just helps to keep developing your skills while also you get another artist's work and have fun doing both while talking to others either far or close from you. Quick reminder, please always stay safe with pen pals. Never share personal information like your address or meet up with someone you don't know in real life. Keep all interactions in a safe, supervised, or vetted space. I'm not responsible for any actions viewers choose to take based on this content. So sometimes when I get told someone likes some of the same stuff as me, I personally like to make what I would want someone to send me, but with a wide open mind for many different ideas so that I'm not just limited to what I would like. I also consider what other people would like. Um, I usually sketch out a variety of ideas so that I can eventually close the final idea that I want for the artwork. I wanted to combine bones and nature, so I started out with a grid on this page so I could be able to easily fit a ram's skull into the paper entirely without messing up or even missing some of its proportions. And I do think it helped me better. Not perfectly, but we will take it. I'm not sure why I chose a ram. I think it would have made more sense to do a cat skull now that I think about it. Um, I forgot to consider composition during the sketch on the artwork that I sent. I just wanted everything in the center and to include what I wanted. Drawing the first few lines personally makes me feel like I'm ruining a perfect piece of paper sometimes, so it's also a bit harder to get started on anything. I had a variety of different compositions and chosen elements from October's Halloween sketches, along with lists of said elements, styles, mediums, and notes. I probably should have seen it again this month. In my old sketchbook, I probably would have had an easier time with the RAM. But then again, anytime I make something new, I grow as an artist because I never previously thought I could draw that thing, and I also still surprised myself in the end with actually drawing it. So the materials I chose included pen for the RAM, colored pencil for the sketch, and watercolor for the nature themes included later on. I was going to incorporate nature into the RAM as if it was a nature takes over sort of thing, but as I was doing the sketch, it completely slipped my mind until after I had started the pen stippling. I knew I wanted to use a pen since I am able to show more detail and shadows that way, and I wanted a watercolor to help make the natural items look more realistic. I thought about having both mixed or incorporated together as well, but then I also felt like they would clash a bit, so I decided on pen and watercolor to be used separately on different elements. I collected multiple references from Pinterest. Only the main RAM school I used as a reference was from Google. You will be able to find these reference photos in my Pinterest video references board, or at least some that I could still obtain the link to. um, I tried to find some leaves and mushrooms since I'm a bit scared to try doing flowers right now in fear of messing it up entirely, so I went the easier route. Now, if you're wondering why I specifically chose bones in nature, I'll explain why. My pen pal and I have shared some stuff briefly, such as brief interests and other things. They also stated they like nature and animals and weird things like bugs and oddities. They told me they currently like Hannibal, but I know nothing about it since I am a bit isolated and don't really watch much unless my partner gets me into it, or I just navigate it myself, which doesn't happen much honestly. Especially since I don't like having so much different streaming subscriptions or services. So now I only watch YouTube when I am on my own. However, watching more media recently because of my partner has allowed me to relove art and appreciate styles, textures, or colors and more in medias, and the way it's becoming more used, changed, and or incorporated in cool shows or movies. Mainly because my partner has these adorable rants on pieces of media about music, art, colors, styles, voice actors, lore, characters, and even personal connections to movies and shows that they have seen. I think it is because of my partner that I am able to rebuild my love for medias and art since I was completely losing myself and who I was for a while due to my chronic illness. So, in most of my decisions, I decide to go based on instinct unless I specifically wanted to represent something specific. In this case, though, the whole artwork is based on instinct. I chose the colors and textures as it came, stippling with pen because I have a wide range of black brush and pen sizes, and pen was my most realistic, better looking technique. I think I just chose stippling because it was cleaner than cross hatching or other pen techniques I like. Funnily enough, it also applies to me deciding on eating or other things I crave so much so often due to my chemo making me want something new often, along with me not liking routines unless I am stressed or having too much happening at once. I tried to portray my references, highlights, and shadows by stippling based on how light or dark something is. Usually, stippling lightly and having the points spread apart gives it more of a so called lighter look, whereas doing it crowded like and having lots of points all in one place, it makes it look a bit darker based on how well distributed the ink is, if that makes sense. Sometimes I think I'm not good at explaining things. I prefer to draw in sections as sometimes it's easier to accentuate the shadows or highlights that way. Of course, at the end, I always go back in and add more details if I need to, depending on whether I think I have enough shadow or if I want to bring detail to something specific. I accidentally mess up later on when I stipple outside of the sketch's left horn, and I end up fixing it with a white acrylic marker. You may also see another drawing under the current artwork I am meaning to be working on. The paper was just being held in the middle of a sketchbook so that neither my cat nor I would make a mess or scratch the paper or just damage it in any way. I'm also really sorry that my hand gets in the way often. I can't really do much about that, unfortunately. One thing I love to receive and send are handwritten letters. It's very personal. You get to learn about someone. You have physical evidence on what someone says. You can learn or work on penmanship. It's a memorable way to communicate. And I also love to have boxes of letters saved, and I think it is nice to look back on sometimes. It helps you think better on what to say or bring up only the important things, and that is a nice surprise and a tradition. And I lastly think it is easier and nicer than today's more popular ways of communicating via text or calls. Over time, I realized and disliked how much I was spending on my devices all the time. Sure, it's a faster way to communicate, but I don't feel as much of a personal connection to the other person that way, and I'm sometimes expected to respond earlier or faster due to other people having high expectations. I like that with writing letters, you can learn about someone in a slower and more personal way, whereas with texting, you can learn about someone quite quick, and it sometimes feels rushed or there's not enough time to actually remember anything because of the amount of topics that can easily be covered in such a short time, just because you're able to respond much faster. Also, I love receiving fun mail that is not bills or advertisements for food or grocery stores. Art is such a nice addition to send to anyone. The month before November, which was the month that I decided to make this artwork, was October, which was Halloween themed, of course. So my pen pal sent me a cool wooden board with a scorpion on it, along with fall stickers from a local event, raccoon claws, a handwritten letter behind the board, and other stickers. I thought it was really cool to receive the artwork and the claws. I was like a kid on Christmas morning when their parents actually knew them well enough to know what they liked. Except it was a normal day, and for a holiday I loved the most, and from a stranger I had never previously spoken to before, who I feel gave as much effort as I put into what I sent them, and I highly appreciated that. I do think I got very lucky to have a really good first experience with my first ever pen pal, the first time I ever decided to have a pen pal at all. We both somehow gave each other what we wanted, and it was a great surprise overall. So earlier I brought up creative burnout, or just artist block, or plain burnout, and how pen pal projects help with that. Deciding to do pen paling with artists can really help out a lot with that in the form of giving ideas. Ways in which you can get ideas on what to help with that would include deciding to do monthly themes and prompts so you know what to try to draw or to inspire things based on that. Also, you totally don't have to do it monthly. I just did it monthly, but it's not necessary if everyone agrees upon a time frame. Additionally, it allows for a creative flow. Keeping consistency can really bring more out and allow for more and more ideas while embracing creativity. Seeing other artists and styles can inspire more or other styles, and incorporating small amounts of different artists can be easier to find your own style. Also, who wouldn't love more wall and physical art to share? Who knows, maybe someday you end up inspiring someone. Or maybe you have. How much more can you inspire? Here is some advice for viewers starting a pen pal and art exchange. Again, I would like to reiterate the quick reminder: always stay safe with pen pals. Never share personal information like your address or meet up with someone you don't know in real life. Keep all interactions in a safe, supervised, and vetted space. I'm not responsible for any actions viewers choose to take based on this content. Back to the advice. You can try to find pen pals at local groups or community centers. You can find this at a local community board, Facebook groups, other social media groups and servers, online pen pal specific websites, sometimes in schools, or in my case, join an artist Discord server. Additionally, please do your research. You do not want to be seen as insensitive, especially if you do or say something that could be considered rude in a different country. Pen pals often come from different backgrounds, so cultural awareness is a must. Avoid assumptions about them at all costs. You also want to make sure you are joining a legit pen pal program or getting paired with someone safe, and don't end up becoming scammed or something as a result of them having your address. Additionally, another word for pen paling, but exchanging gifts or things, would be called snail mail. Get it? Because it's slow? Speaking of slow, please do not end up wasting your pen pal's time. If you do not think you have the time, please do not sign up for a pen pal. It's disappointing for someone to expect something and then never receive it, especially when they end up sending that person something. Please respond in a timely manner. Ask yourself, how much time do I have for a pen pal? What type of pen pal do I want? How will I communicate with them? What am I looking for in a pen pal? Additionally, please do not leave them hanging. Let them know if you need a break, because sometimes life happens. Don't just ghost them. Please respect their boundaries. Some may love sharing personal stories right away, while others prefer lighter topics like hobbies or travel. Pay attention to cues in their letters. If they avoid certain subjects or keep things general, follow their lead. Please do not push for personal data. It can make them uncomfortable to continue pen paling or even damage the friendship. Lastly, you'll need to share your address at some point. Please only do this if you feel safe and comfortable sharing it. If you are not, but would still like to do pen paling or snail mail, open a P.O. box and or use an alias or pseudonym. I recommend trusting your gut when it comes to having pen pals. Sometimes it tells us important things and we should listen to our gut. If you are underage, please only do this with your parents' consent and awareness of all letters and who you are talking to. It is important to stay safe at all times. Overall, I love how the piece turned out. I more so love the ram and the stippling as well. It came out, in my opinion, worth the wrist pain I ended up having as I was drawing this. Then, of course, it also feels a bit biased that I am even saying that. I'm not a fan of some of my work due to a preset perfectionist mindset that I have, but this time my perfectionism didn't really hate me so much this time for drawing this, so I think that it's good. I decided to decorate the envelope with acrylic markers and chose to do vines and part of a branch on the front and mushrooms on the back of it. I thought it would give some context for what's inside. Now that I think about it, I am unsure why I didn't wrap the stickers and the frame in tissue paper. I think it would have given more flair overall with the things inside. I also decided to send 3 stickers. The frame has 3 cat whiskers glued into it. Because we both like oddities, of course. I've also sent a personal letter and some candy along with the artwork. I honestly hope my pen pal enjoys this month's art and that they do enjoy everything else in the envelope. In the future, I hope to bring in and send artwork packaged with ribbon, more tissue paper, more color, maybe send tea bags or other small things, maybe some longer handwritten notes, etc. Additionally, as I edit this, I realize that my pen pal already has 2 cats. They likely already have enough cat whiskers. That is my mistake. Also, when I went to send this at the post office, I wasn't given an estimate on when it would arrive for them, nor did they give me any options on when I wanted it to arrive with my pen pal. Unfortunately, I am also a bit of a coward when it comes to clarification or asking for things in public, or even trying to get an associate's help when it comes to trying to get help. So, I just decided to move on from the post office. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I hope to post a I hope to post a sketchbook video or an about me video soon so you guys can learn more about the artist you are watching and for it to give you an idea on what else I want to share or know what kind of things I will be drawing. Please let me know if you want more pen pal art videos and please subscribe if you want cozy art content. I hope you have a peaceful day and or night. I will see you in the next one. Bye!